to fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. This is part 2 of Catherine Mackenna. I'm going to play you an interview discussing climate change and how the Canadian population is being hammered by Trudeau's, how can I describe this really, insane approach to what he thinks is the number one priority in Canada. That little Canada, that has less than 1% effect in the world, less than 1%, could make any difference. He'd rather hammer Canadians than take a more realistic view. This is the same idiot who thinks electric cars are the way forward in Canada. Electricity, by the way, is not the way forward. Batteries lose 50% of their power below 0 degrees centigrade. That's 32 in English. That's how much they know. But still, they carry on. And this person in particular carries on and never answers the question.
Is Canada's lofty plan to tackle climate change starting to get lost in the smog of facts? Well, a new audit by the Federal Environment Commissioner revealed Canada will fail to reach the 2030 climate targets set out in the Paris Accord. It was a damning report. Most provinces have not even established any targets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and those that have them don't have a plan to reach them. Now, the federal government has responded and says the audit doesn't include their new plan. It looks backwards. But even their new plan at this point won't work. Add in the growing provincial opposition to the carbon tax or the price on carbon in places like Saskatchewan and Alberta and the main opposition parties in Ontario, trouble is brewing. So what will the government do to get on track or stay on track? Let's find out. The Environment Minister, Catherine Mckenna, joins. And I always say we've known each other long before you got into politics. That was a pretty... The report was damning. Let's say it. I know you say it's looking backwards, but the provinces don't have a plan to reach their targets. What are you going to do about it?
So I think, first of all, something that's really amazing about this report, first-time auditors general across the country looked at climate action. That's great because we know climate change has a huge cost. It's flooding people's homes, their forest fires. The Arctic is literally melting. But the report actually looked back. And I know that you said that, but it is true that it looked at the fact that there was no action under a decade of Stephen Harper. And she actually said, in terms of looking forward, that this is the most significant, best climate plan Canada's ever had, the one we negotiated with provinces and territories. And I've always said this, we're 100% committed to meeting our target, and we're working with provinces. We're phasing out coal, historic investments in public transportation that's improving people's lives, making investment in clean technology.
I think, though, there's also a credibility problem, frankly, because, first of all, you're on target. They're the same targets of Stephen Harper. So on the left, and some of the progressives say the targets are not good enough anyway. And then the original date to hit the targets was 2020. Now we're 2030. We keep missing targets. Why should anyone believe you'll meet these new targets way off in the distance in 2030?
You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab, and email. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments at Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Moments tab.